Ladies and gentlemen, I am Corion, your witch in residence here on YouTube. And one of my channel subscribers asked a very important question a little while ago. Hey Corion, why don't you cover more anime? And you know what? He's right, I should cover some anime. So today we're going to dive deep into Macross Plus. Now, before I start that very deep dive, it's come to my attention that not everyone who watches this channel is currently subscribed. Now, if you talk to my subscribers, you will know that I am very, very involved in the happiness of my channel subscribers, and especially my channel members. So please consider joining the channel. It really helps me out. It really helps your friends out. And it helps spread the idea that I'm trying to put forward, that there are some deep spiritual lessons in popular culture if we're just willing to listen to them. Now, with that obligatory ritual out of the way, let's dive deep into Macross Plus. Now, the story of Macross Plus centers around the test pilot Isamu Dyson. He has been chosen for the test pilot program after a pretty calamitous battle out in deep space, where he was an amazing pilot, but he doesn't work well with a group, so they figured the test pilot program would be perfect for him. He finds out that the plane he is test piloting is got a rival plane that it's competing for the contract against, the YF-21, piloted by Gold Goa Bowman. Now, if that didn't make things complicated enough, the two of them know each other from high school and were friends and then rivals very shortly after. Who they were rivals for? Well, Mayung Fonglong, who happens to be the manager of a AI musician named Sharon Apple. Although the truth is, Sharon Apple is not an actual AI. She's a puppet. And Mayun is the one who's actually driving everything in the background. This continues, and the rivalry builds between these two guys because both of them are determined to win. Until a new AI chip is developed, one that's actually capable of producing true, strong AI. And Sharon receives them, and so does a secret weapon that the Space Forces are building, a pilotless fighter jet. Sensing that both Isamu and Gold will be out of a job if they don't do something about that fighter plane, situations contrive to get the two of them to, try to take on this fighter together. But while this is going on, Sharon Apple, the now sentient AI, takes over military command and hypnotizes people with her voice and the lights and her actions. And it's eventually a love song by Mayung that wakes Isamu out of the trance and is able to save the day. And I thought this was a great metaphor, that the best technology, the best weapons in the world cannot solve the problems of the human heart. And I think that is a fantastic and important and poignant lesson for all of us to take away. Isn't it just? That the human heart is not something quantifiable. It is not something you can put into just straight logic. Anyone who's truly, deeply, and maddeningly fallen in love knows this, right? There are groups online that will tout their logic or their battle prowess or their capability to push their heart aside to achieve an objective. But when you've achieved that objective, how hollow is the sound of victory without anyone to share it with? How uncomforting is it to be a victorious person alone in one's house with only their thoughts? Or maybe a cat. So, it's important to think about love and the human heart and the people around you and the people that you care about and that care about you. Because all of these people, at the end of the day, don't just deserve your love and your kindness and your consideration, but you deserve theirs. And together, with that in mind, with being able to willingly show people compassion and kindness and friendship, we can build a place that we all want to live in, right? I know that's kind of cliche, and I know saying that is easy, and I know doing it is very, very hard, but consider how much the world needs us to hear what everyone is saying at the table, hear their hurt, and accept them even though they hurt, even though they are not necessarily making the best of decisions all the time. Sometimes they need somebody who's willing to listen, willing to say, I hear what you're saying. I think I can get you on a better path. And then help them do so, right? I know this is going to sound kind of cliche, but at the end of the day, in my spiritual work helping people, that's really what I do, is I listen to them. I occasionally comment on what they're saying so I can get clarification. And I make the call on how to get them into a better place than where they currently are at. You know, people don't come to me because everything's working great, which I suppose in a lot of ways is an advantage to my job. You know, people that are coming to me already know they need help. But this isn't something you guys can't do. You totally can do it. You guys are capable of being the loving, compassionate people that somebody else needs in their life right now. And it may be that you express that compassion for others differently than I do. I have been blessed by being fairly good with words and being fairly good at talking to you guys. But, you know, there are those among you who are musicians, or those among you who are artists, those among you who, even though you're not particularly artistic, are very good at being honest and kind and reasonable with your words to other people. And you understand that even though what you want to say could hurt the other person, you can code it in enough reasonability for the other person that even though what the topic you're discussing is harsh, it doesn't come off as harsh. We show other people love, and we show other people love because we want to be shown it as well. And what we put out into the world, we do get back. Okay? You can look at my previous videos for my discussions on that. You can even see it in this movie, right? Isamu is brash and reckless and makes mistakes that hurt other people, and then he himself is hurt by those mistakes and realizes that he needs to change and grow to be a better person for those around him. And even though he's still rough around the edges, we see a heart of gold from him. With Gold, he treats everything as logical and factual, and he knows exactly how the world works and is determined to treat everyone exactly how he has judged them that they should be treated under his logic. But when he realizes the mistakes he's made, he's willing to sacrifice everything to make things right, to help the people around him. And as for Mayung, well, she hated the puppet that made her famous. And she resented those around her and felt terrible for how she was treated. And when she was treated poorly by her own creation for those actions, she started to realize how important it was to care and how important it was to love and to use her talents to help others. And that to me is the greatest takeaway from this, is that even the most powerful futuristic weapons of annihilation, you have to be held by a wielder. And if that wielder cares and has love in their heart, then you can achieve far more and far greater things. So what I'd like you guys to do this week, if you can, is think about a time when you've had hard news to share with somebody. And you maybe didn't do the best job of breaking it to them. Maybe you were too literal for that person. Maybe you were too soft in its application. They didn't take it seriously. And I'd like you to think about what you could do to do better for the next time. And when you have an answer, when you know what you need to do right by those people that you care about and legitimately do care about them, then put it in the comments. Maybe one of the other people who's watching this can learn. And we can all grow. And we can all become better and reach for those amazing moments of clarity and wonder that produce the magic. Because I'd like you all to experience that level of wonder. And I'd like you all to be able to give that wonder to someone else. Because when we share wonder with others, we create the magic in the world. And I would love to see more magic in this world. And I think most of you would as well. Now, as for the movie itself, I do highly recommend it. The Macross Plus has several different versions. The original Japanese with subtitles is probably the most true to the original. There is an international version, which I believe is a series of, I think, 6 episodes. And there is a condensed Macross Plus movie edition that does exist. They are very, very good. I feel the movie edition cuts out a little too much, but I do recommend checking it out. It has some of the very earliest CG graphics I remember seeing. And for that, it's pretty wild. And the concepts of the fighters and the space battles and the giant stompy robots get to me every time because I am a major giant stompy robots fan. It is probably my favorite genre of anything. If you put a giant robot suit that I can ride in and crush a building in it, I'm probably going to want to watch that movie. It's a guilty pleasure, I freely admit. But you know what? It's okay. Because even though I'm a priest, I get to enjoy goofy movies, right? And I get to enjoy all of those things with you guys, and I love sharing it. Now, on the 15th, there's going to be a major announcement for this channel, and I'm going to be counting on your guys' help for something that I think would bring the message of positivity and knowledge and creation that I've been pushing out there for a long time to a bigger stage. And I'd like you guys to be there with me to do it. And I'd like your help to make that happen. And I'm not going to be able to do it without you. And I could really use the hand. So keep your eyes peeled for a major announcement on the 15th. I promise you it's coming. And with all of that in mind, I think we're going to close it off right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.